Have you ever felt like you're in a game where some of the most brilliant players aren't even allowed on the field? For a long time, we've been told this story that inclusion is all about charity, about being nice. But what if that story is completely wrong? Today, we're going to talk about what inclusion really is, a secret weapon that society has been ignoring for way too long. So let's just start with this question right here. In a game where you bench some of your players before it even starts, who really loses? Is it just the person who's told they can't play? Or is it the entire team who misses out on all their talent, their unique ideas, and their totally different way of seeing the world? Let's get one thing straight right from the get-go. This is not about feeling sorry for people. This is about strategy. Inclusion isn't some extra cost we have to deal with. No, it's one of the most powerful, untapped advantages we have, and I'm going to show you exactly why. Okay, so let's dig into something a lot of us probably grew up believing, an idea that, on the surface, seems pretty kind and logical. I'm talking about the whole concept of this special school. But what if it's all built on a huge lie? Let's ask a question that might feel a little uncomfortable. When we create these separate schools for just one group of kids, are we really giving them privacy to learn and grow? Or have we just put a fancy label and a high price tag on what's really just isolation? The words we choose here, they matter a lot. I mean, just look at the difference. Privacy, that's a choice. It's something that empowers you and gives you dignity. Isolation, on the other hand, is a system that's forced on you. It creates boundaries, it limits your potential. They might look kind of similar from far away, but they are fundamentally worlds apart. And listen, this isn't just some philosophical debate. International law is incredibly clear on this. The UN doesn't mince words. They straight up call segregated education a violation of human rights. Think about that. Not an honor, not a protection, a violation. So, okay, if segregation is so harmful, what's the answer? Well, it's truly inclusive classrooms. And this is where the story gets really, really interesting. Because it turns out the students who often get the biggest benefit from inclusion are the ones we'd call average. And this isn't just a feeling. This is backed up by tons of research. When you get students of all abilities learning side by side, everybody wins. We're talking higher emotional intelligence, stronger leadership skills, and way more creative out-of-the-box thinking for everyone in that room. You're basically training kids for the real world. All right, so this whole win-win idea doesn't stop at the schoolyard. It scales big time. When you take this exact same principle and apply it to business, the results are just staggering. So let's shift gears and talk cold, hard numbers for a minute. Because when you follow the money, the argument for inclusion is undeniable. You hear it all the time, right? The biggest myth out there is that inclusion is just an expense, that making things accessible costs too much money, that it's a financial burden. But that's looking at the whole equation completely backwards. Let's just look at the data. A huge study found that companies who are leaders in disability inclusion don't just feel good, they do well, really well. They see, on average, 28% higher revenue. 28%. That's not a rounding error. That is a massive competitive advantage. So why? What's the magic here? Well, first, you get real cognitive diversity. Different minds literally fertilize each other's ideas, and you avoid that deadly groupthink. Second, it forces teams to get super organized and clear about their priorities, which, let's be honest, helps everyone. And third, you just unlock this incredible creative problem solving from people who see the world in a way nobody else does. Now let's zoom out even further, to the country level. The economics are actually super simple. When you exclude people, you create what's called a consumer citizen, someone who relies on benefits and healthcare. But when you include them, you help create a producer citizen, someone who's working, creating, and paying taxes. It's not a cost. It is one of the best investments a society can possibly make. And big companies like Microsoft totally get this. Their whole hiring program for neurodiverse talent is based on this simple, brilliant idea. Stop judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree. When you let the fish show you how it can swim, you suddenly find all this incredible talent that your competition is completely blind to. Okay, so we've looked at the lie of special schools. We've looked at the hard economics. But the biggest barrier holding us back isn't money, and it isn't laws. The real barrier is a lot closer to home. It's inside of us. To really get this, you have to understand a concept called the social model of disability. It's pretty simple. It says a person's impairment, like not being able to walk, isn't the actual disability. The disability is the flight of stairs with no ramp. See the difference? The barrier isn't the person, it's the world we've built. So if that's true, if the real disability is the barrier, the inaccessible building, the biased interview process, then what's the ultimate barrier? What's the thing that allows all those other barriers to even exist? It's one word: complacency. It's the comfort we feel in just letting things be the way they are. It's that quiet little voice in our head that says, yeah, that's too bad, but it's not my problem. That mental shrug is the real enemy. That's the wall we have to tear down. So here's the bottom line. The facts are clear. Inclusion isn't just a nice idea. It's a strategic weapon for success in every part of life. But the story isn't over. Not even close. The next chapter is being written right now, by you. So the only question left is, what's your role going to be?